The Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters proudly presents Angler and Hunter Television. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, Boris Optics, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, 13 Fishing, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Yukon Gear, Killer Instinct Crossbows, and Outfitter Financial.
When the warm spring weather arrives, anglers have so many choices for fishing. Hit the creeks for migrating rainbow trout, panfish in the shallow bays and marshes, wow, or even try to connect with those finicky post-spawn walleye. Good looking little Walter, eater. Whether from shore, kayak, wading, or in a boat, warm spring days offer some of the best fishing. Got 'em! And in places many of us can access with ease. Urban angling opportunities are everywhere. You just have to go look for them. And in cities or towns with river systems, it can be as easy as casting from the bank, wading in the shallows, and of course, getting out in a boat. And as far as what to catch, well, sometimes thinking outside the box can make for some amazing fishing adventures. Crushing it! What a gorgeous fish! Today, I'm idling up a river in hopes of connecting with migrating schools of white bass. Oh, this spot's loaded! Yep, white bass. They're beautiful fish, man. Look at this thing. What a cool critter. That's going in the live well. Woo! White bass. Lake Ontario has lots of them, but this Trenton River run is pretty unique, and plenty of boat ramps, plenty of places to fish from shore, and just a simple setup. I'll go over it all once I get into them here, but here we are. Standing on the boat, I got the Minn Kota on autopilot, just holding us here, and we're gonna cast into these pools along the bank and hopefully catch a few. I'm gonna catch one right here. Fish on. Lake Ontario and its tributaries have a plentiful population of these critters. I said I was gonna get one there, and I did. And they're a blast to catch. It's hard to net in the current. Another one, not big. And make for some good eating. You want, I'm gonna measure a few, but probably 11, 12 inches. Kind of like a crappie or a perch to eat, but see what happens. We just got here, third week of May, it's spring. They're in here to spawn, and there's no limit on them in the regulations, and there's no season on them, so you can fish year round. Most of the time they're down in, further out in the Bay of Quinte or in Lake Ontario. Okay, so that's a slab of meat right there. Easy to catch. I mean, I'm fishing off. You can catch them if you're fishing offshore, but cast in, catch them, and once you find them, it can be nuts.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
I'm going to go back towards the tree a bit. Locating back eddies and slower stretches of current where deeper pools exist is the key to finding white bass in rivers. Here comes one. Oh, it's another big one. Now this is a 6'10" Meta, new rod from 13 Fishing, and it's an affordable rod. It doesn't cost too much, and it's great for anything. I mean, crappies, panfish, bass. Oh, easy. All right. Okay. Just on the border. So I was talking about the rod. So it's a new rod from 13 Fishing. It's a 6'10" medium light action. I've got 6-pound advanced mono on here, and then this Axiom reel. That's the setup I'm using. I'm gonna fill the boat. Fill the boat! So this is a new line of plastics from Rapala. They're getting into the plastics game, and it's pretty cool because it's just a little minnow bait boot tail, but it's made of that TPE material. It just stretches and stretches, it doesn't rip. So I could literally catch 200 fish on this one plastic all day today. And I was catching the first few on a smaller one, but I moved up to this boot tail, it's a bit bigger, hoping to get the bigger fish, and first cast, I got me a big one. VMC's got a new little micro football head. I am in love with this jig head. And this micro football head is gonna be a game changer for bass fishermen, whether they're white bass, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, spotted bass, rock bass. How many other bass are there? Calico bass? It's funny, the water's so clear, and with the polarized glasses, I could see them coming sometimes. There's a good one. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Crush City boot tail. Woo! When you go to Crush City, gonna have some fun. It's like a Beach Boys song. There's one with them. 2 fish for every cast. Boom, look at the back on him. I'm excited because I don't really fish for these. And 2, I mean, whether I'm walleye fishing or muskie fishing or pike, doesn't matter. If you can cast in and catch one every cast, hello, that's why we do it. The tug is the drug. Wow, that was a big one. You can look around. There's a lot of spots people could access the shore. We're in Trenton, Trent River, obviously there's no secret. You could wade along this shore with waders, where, you know, just stay away from the current, obviously. But last couple weeks of May, first few weeks of June, the white bass are in here, and they're, you know, one of those species that are untouched. They fight so good in the current. I'm gonna let you go. I'm looking for a few big ones to eat. Not bad. So, I mean, look at this. Perfectly stable, perfectly flat. Look at the current ripping through here. This Minn Kota, he's on spot lock. It's an anchor mode. You hit this little button, it looks like an anchor. It takes a waypoint and it holds you there. If you move, it increases thrust. If you get too far away, it'll steer you back to that spot. It's a game changer. I mean, I use it a lot for all sorts of fishing, but if you're fishing in a river like this with current, it's a must-have. I mean, look at this. I haven't moved 1 inch, and I'm right on top of this school. It just lets me cast in and catch them. Come on, I need to get me some big ones. I need to get me some big ones. It's on. As soon as it hits the water! Look at them behind it. There's 400,000 of them there. Maybe 5. Ugh. Easy now. The one thing about these guys is their pec fins, these fins on the bottom all have spikes, so be careful handling them. These are spiky fish. Trust me, I know from experience. Ow. Very recent experience. So I don't have a lot of knowledge, obviously, about white bass, but I mean, what I'm doing, and I'm just simply going down and kind of like you'd fish in a river for trout, looking for pools and runs, like a little deep trough, rocks, eddies, trees in the water, anywhere that a fish that could congregate, really. I'll let you go. You deserve to be let go. And I'm looking. I mean, it's shallow. But once you find a pool or a dark spot, throw in and fish it. Some of them are right up on the bank. Now, let's catch some white bass. That's a decent one. Now I hit spot lock as soon as I catch one. That's one of the features that having that on the Minn Kota is a bonus. I should have netted this fish. It's a lot bigger than, oh, my line broke. That's what happens when you get snagged in the rocks. You get snagged too many times, you get a nick in your line. Woo! Still a good testament to my fishing line. I was able to crane that fish in and get it in the boat. I'll retie. Whew.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you by Yamaha ATV.
I've seen a lot of fish swirling and darting around in there. I know you're in there. I found this spot. Basically, I went up to where the fast water slowed down, and I've been working pools and some of the willow trees overhanging here. And I cast that Crush City in there and caught a few, and I was seeing a lot swipe at it on the way back. So I thought I'm going to put on a little mini X-Wrap, but it suspends. And those fish a lot of times have been coming up and slashing like that. They were slashing, and I was missing them. So a couple sets of treble hooks and an X-Wrap, and you got yourself another option for catching them right here. This guy might have to go in the net. That's a big one. Now just be careful when you're dealing with these, because the treble hooks will get in your hands. Just barely skin hooked them. So that's another nice one. So there's another option. I've got, the little football head, the micro football head with the Crush City minnows on it, and then an X-Wrap, suspending bait. Can't be simple. You could probably troll here and catch them, but why not anchor down, find a hole, and fill the boat. Big dog, come on, big dog. Oh, there's a school of them after it. Woo! This one's a borderline fish, but again, now, I was talking about coming here and fishing. They're a great fish to take your kids out for. I'll probably come back with August here and let her smash on them, but if you're gonna come with your kids, I don't recommend you bring, baits with treble hooks and stuff like that, because kids will get the hooks in them. Pack of those VMC jig heads and some plastics is all you really need, but because I'm here and because I can experiment, I'm gonna mix it up. Jerkbait fishing. Wow. I wonder how big these things get.
The Fishing Edge is brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
To get the edge over the fish, I use the 1875 Lund Pro V and Merc 200 Pro XS to run up the river, and then use my Minn Kota Ultrex and Humminbird Helix to position alongside deeper pools and runs that were full of white bass. I cast a VMC Finesse football head rigged with Rapala's Crush City 2.75-inch Suspect boottail minnow, with a 13 fishing 6'10" medium light meta rod and Axiom spinning reel spooled with 6-pound Suffix Advanced Mono. A Lucky Strike net and Cuda pliers helped handling the big ones, and of course, a Cuda fillet knife made prepping the bass for the frying pan a cinch. With the current and fish holding, in deeper pools and near trees and stuff, another technique I use fishing in the rivers is just a spinner for rainbow trout and salmon. I catch a lot of fish on it. Blue Fox makes an assortment of spinners. There's Vibrax. There's all sorts of hair on them. You get all sorts of varieties. Size 1 and 2, though, I would suggest. And put on a little ball bearing swivel or a snap swivel so you can change them out. And it's a pretty simple technique. You can just cast it and reel it in. Usually you can, get a variety of them at, Canadian Tire. Throw them on that 6-pound mono, and if you got a tackle box full of spinners, they'll work. spinners work. As soon as I hook one, I hit spot lock. That's the trick. You don't want to have to try and steer the boat while you fight a fish. Whoa! Easy. This guy's a little aggressive. I gotcha. There, it does work. Oh, that's a good cast. Whoa, I got drilled. Oh, there's a gar beside me. 2 gars spawning. This is cool. Come on. These ones are a little small for eating. I gotcha. But make sure you let a few go, quite a few go, and keep those 9, 10, 11 inchers to eat. There's lots. Perfect eddy, dark shadow. I mean, it's got everything, right? You want shade, back eddies or pools, and then a little deep strip or a run. It'd be like a run of trout. So I found one here. There's a pile of small ones in there. Oh, this one's gonna give me some trouble. I'm putting the pliers in his mouth. Treble hooks and fingers don't go good together. I'd much rather do that. What I found with these white bass is the little ones you'll catch first. They're really aggressive. And then, after you catch a few, the bigger fish that aren't as aggressive tend to bite. This guy's going to the middle of the lake. That's a bit better. Don't get fooled by these fish. They're spiky. And they're gill rakers. Like the gill plates here, really sharp. So handle with care. Got a good one. Woo! Holy cow! Literally. This is a big one. Don't you get off. It's on the jerk bait. Wow, that's a beauty. Oh, look at the back on this thing. Easy. Right into the, no, the current took the net. I got him under it. Nerve-wracking. I did it. I did it. Crush City and the X-Wrap was all it took. I am tangled here, but it was worth it. I'm breathing heavy for a white bass, but you'll see why in a minute. It's a bruiser. And it's hooked super good. Keep the kudas handy. Look at the size of this critter. Woo! Man! Well, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I mean, let me show you something here. Key to having a good day of fishing is to bring a little bit of luck with you. Now, August tells me flip-flops and socks are perfectly acceptable. Lucky strike, lucky socks. Don't leave home without them. You get results like that. That's what it's all about. And having a trolling motor that'll hold you here so you can catch them. Big fish like that, a little bit of luck from the socks. And of course, the baits don't hurt. Keep it simple. Have lots of fun. Make sure you got the right gear with you to do it. And new experience for me right there. Could be for you. This is awesome.
Closed captioning of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you in part by Ontario Out of Doors Magazine. Angler and Hunter Television has been brought to you by Canadian Tire, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, 13 Fishing, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Yukon Gear, Killer Instinct Crossbows, and Outfitter Financial. For more information on the products used in this episode of Angler and Hunter Television, visit AHTV.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Remember, conserve and protect our great outdoors.